You get a red mark.
No. It's all secret. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Brightlingsea Town Council Finance and Property Committee meeting of June 16, 2026 at 10 o'clock. And can I have apologies for absence, please?
None the same.
You have copies of the minutes of the last meeting. Can I take them? Ask if there's any questions or any accuracies issues with them? No. Okay, can I propose you can't, you're not on the committee.
Oh, no, that's advisory. That's true.
So he's already warned me about you. Okay, all those in favour? Thank you. There's a couple of issues out of there that action points you might as well deal with now. Obviously the camera now works. Came in under budget, I'm pleased to say. Dave and I have not written a letter about the claim, but something we can do. And I'm talking to Terry about the future vehicle, and we're looking at electric, and we're looking at first of all about, well, where can we charge it? I think it's a case of if we can charge it somewhere, that's an option. So if there's any other comments about or action points anybody else wants to bring up? No? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to item 3, declarations of interests of pecuniary interests of any of the members here. I take that as a no. So therefore, moving on to item 4, financial summary of.
Nice terms of reference.
Oh, anyway, terms of reference. I've got terms of reference. Thank you.
That's not on the agenda.
No, it's not. No, didn't get sent that one, I think, for some reason. But we'll do terms of reference. Did everybody got a copy of the terms of reference?
Yeah.
Is there any concerns or issues? I have ones. I'll just look at item 3 roles. Really seems to be all about facilities community assets team rather than the
Yeah, I think that was taken off the FCA last year to put on finance.
so it's a responsibility of finance
Yes.
now.
Yeah, because it's land.
Yeah, so should that read slightly different then?
Perhaps ought to read, Chair, that the finance, to confirm that the finance is the Finance and Property Committee.
And
I thought it was where we'd agreed that leases, etc., would be dealt with by finance as opposed to the FCA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it just needs, I think
needs
it's right in the sense that the facilities and community teams will continue to monitor the issues, but the actual
committee will deal with
yeah.
them.
So it just needs rewording. It is the responsibility of the finance committee.
I'm assuming it would be the same for environment and transport, would it?
I'm not sure that you ever deal with any leases, see?
Is that?
Yeah, it's leases and contracts.
Sometimes we ask for money. That's the only.
No, you can still ask for money. Okay, so just, if it's okay with you, I'll come up with a set of words.
Yeah.
Other than that, do we approve it? Yes. Okay, thank you very much. And moving on to the budget and financial report. I think, well, you've got it in front of you. Are there any other comments on it, really?
Which one are we looking at? That's this one.
Oh, yeah, as of the 31st of May 2006. Financial summary. So that's the budget one, isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah, that's the one we're doing.
Oh, sorry, I'll change it around. We'll do the budget one first. Sorry.
So which one is
There's a budget and actuals of 2026 May. Okay, we've got a total income of for the year of £429.77, and to year to date of that budget we've collected on 140,778. We've got a cost of sales budget of 8,000, and we've year to date we've only spent 149. I think that says. And we should make the point that we've got very little revenue from the boat park as yet. Is that timing or something?
Yeah, but they're coming in.
It is coming
Yeah,
in.
no, it's coming in. And
During-
when it gets a little later, we then start ringing them up and just chipping them up.
Right. Okay. And then
Sorry, can I just say, seems an awful lot of credit notes going to the boat park.
Well, that's because quite a few people have changed their position. Some people have left, haven't got dinghies. There's other people coming on.
No, I'm just saying that normally you can pay for a year and that's it. And it seems to, there's otherwise you've got issue credit notes and monthly and kind of, so.
Well, I think what happens is in February, we tend to send an invoice out to those who had the space last year. And about 5 weeks later, they ring up and say, actually, I'm not going to use it this year. Therefore, we issue a credit note. But the situation is we're getting just about as many new applications as we are crediting. So it's about status quo, and it's probably 60-70% full.
come back to that. I've got something out about boat park. So going into the costs, adverts and publicities, we've added in the costs of the press day there, and also this, the camera is in there. So that's why it's up to 40%. Insurance, of course, you pay off vast majority of getting one lump. And the only other one that I have found out this morning is inaccurate is that on the supplementary, it's got £1,435. That actually should be a zero. The amount has been moved somewhere else into the proper category. So we're on budget, basically. The ones that are always the concern are the maintenance, which is 33% already when it's only 16% a year. The others, the mayor's funding and subscriptions, of course, come in as they come in. So although they're over budget at the moment, they are a matter of phasing. I think maintenance is the main concern because that's quite the largest budget. Any other concern? Any other comments or questions?
Ask what's the earmark funds for literacy, £200. What's that for?
Sorry, which one was that?
Down the bottom.
LGR.
No, earmark funds for
literacy.
literacy,
Oh,
£200. No, earmark. I see what you're saying. No, there's two earmarks on there. One down the bottom.
The literacy group, we had a grant, received a grant for them, or they received a grant, gave us the money, and they were using our room, but they've stopped at the moment, so the money is still there.
Oh, okay.
What I'm trying to do is take the things that are where we're just a facilitator in a separate amount.
Okay.
So if, as and when we get any section 106 costs or income, I'll put them through there rather than put them through the account.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it especially if it's large amounts, it screws the account.
just double counted.
Yeah. But as far as I know, at this stage, we've still not made any official applications for section 106. Well, we haven't got the full quote, have we?
No, we have got the approval for it. Now we're going to get 3 definite quotes, and then once we've got those, we can then go for it. Both those projects are scheduled for October after the summer half season, if you like.
Yeah, the lozenge one, all the quotes are done. We're just waiting for Anglia Water to do the work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before we can.
And I think he's and
That's
Rob is talking
October,
about
isn't it?
October as well.
Well, I'm not going to put them on here until we've actually got them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we can only claim the money once we've paid the invoices, and then we send them to tendering, and then they pay us.
I think what I want to do is the section 106 costs. What I'm going to do is put the costs that we spend out first there to make sure that when we get the money back, it matches it. Yeah. Okay, any other points on this? No? Okay, thank you very much. We've got financial monthly overviews. Sorry, I've lost my copy, but it disappears. No, I think, is there any issues there or comments about it? I think the The only thing that I'm concerned of is that we keep our bank accounts down below the 5,000, which one particular case is only slightly over, but all the rest, other than the CCLA, which, as you know, isn't covered by that limit, but has a very high risk rating. Very low risk rating.
Very high low risk.
Very high low risk, yes, thank you. Any points, questions? Okay.
Want me to just read out income for May stood at
Oh,
£6,697.47, and expenditure for May was £43,018.62.
Okay, and we can have the credit control. Okay. Yeah, beginning to get up to date. Payment obviously is only been issued within the next 30 days, so it's still. I think the ones that are slightly concerned is the preschool.
Yeah, everyone's been chosen.
Yeah, the ones in the
Yeah.
This on page 2, the majority of them is 300, 200 to vote part-time.
No park or yeah, or a allotments.
Oh, they're upwards as well.
Could be, I don't know.
There's quite a few beach huts on here,
Oh,
so maybe beach huts. 152s and 305s, they could be beach huts.
Yeah.
But they've only just gone out, yeah.
Which brings up really a slightly different subject, that in here we must sort out the playgroup lease. I mean, it's either got to be a lease or it's got to be a license or a rent. But we've got to sort it out because I think it needs to be reviewed, the amount there.
Where are we on now, Dave?
Awaiting their formal reply that they want to go ahead with the lease and that they accept the conditions that we've set. About the condition of the building, this sort of thing.
Do we write to them,
So-
just asking them?
So it needs a letter to them saying, I think, saying that answer the previous correspondence. Do you want to proceed with the lease? In any event, there's a rent increase. There's been a rent increase for 3 years, so we should put the rent up to what the lease was going to be anyway.
well, I take it that they've decided now on a lease as opposed to a license.
No,
Or
the license,
they're still,
no, like technically it's a rent at the moment. They actually rent so many sessions a week, but I mean because
as they bought, yeah.
but it's not licensed, so it's either they either just want to carry on renting it, or it's
Or go to a formal lease.
or a formal lease, which would be a fully insuring repairing lease.
Can we therefore write to them, just requesting them to formalise that, their answer, because we've asked for that
Several
sometime.
times.
Yeah,
Can
several.
we put a time
I
scale on
think
it?
it was the solicitors we wrote to, didn't we? With a
Well,
copy to them.
They seem to have quite a lot to say, so they were certainly copied in here.
Yeah, I'll chase them up. I'll ask the response within.
Yeah.
7
7
days.
days?
Yeah.
Been going on a couple of years.
Because the next thing is they're gonna start, we've only got a few weeks and they'll break up again, won't they, for 6 weeks school holiday, we won't be able to get hold of them.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of expenditure. If they want the lease, there's a bit of expenditure involved, so it's
Yeah.
important that which we don't have to put in if it's just a rent. So anyway, we need to find out their intentions, I think.
I think in our budget though, we've got
Yeah.
we've allowed for that, haven't we? In the budget for the legal fee.
Yeah, for the legal fees we have, and also there's about £4,000 worth of improvements to the facility. We've allowed for those as well.
Okay, so we'll write
Push
to.
ahead with it.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, moving on to item 5 then, examination of the accounts to receive the approved recommendations of those members examining the accounts.
So can I have 2 councillors stay behind to sign them off? We have 17 payments in a sum of £12,494.38. Please.
So, a couple of you do that? I can't do this one because it's got me on it.
I can do it.
John, somebody else? Please,
Okay. Sure.
Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Then moving on to item 6, internal controller. Councillor Atkinson,
Sounds painful.
CIC,
Well,
regimental CIC.
Yeah, I can confirm that I checked the Q4 of the 26 accounts, took a random sample of purchase invoices, January, February, March, and found them all in order.
Okay.
End of report.
That's just got reports, you know.
Do we have any questions?
No,
I presume you're proposing we need a
I am,
second.
I'm happy to second.
Second, all those in favour? Agreed. Thank you. Done. Only it took you that long to go through them.
Sorry, we'll done with it.
Right, moving on to the item 7 then, the financial request from the environmental and transport team and the facilities and community assets team. Jean, you want to go first?
Yeah. Sorry. Did you say something, Tracy?
Yeah, I think, Kate's now chairman of ENT.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Right,
sorry, yeah, yeah, that's
Sorry, that's going over to last year.
Sorry, Kate.
What am I looking at? How much money do we want? I don't know.
ENT, I don't think there was
I
any
don't think we,
recommend-
no,
I don't
didn't
think
have
there were
anything
no
for finance,
recommendations,
nothing for
no.
finance.
Okay.
However, FCA, I think
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
No, you're chair. You're
I'm not-
chair of
yeah,
ENT.
I'm not chair of FCA anymore.
No.
It's Graham.
And but you're chair of ENT.
I'm chair of ENT. We had no
ENT,
requests. for
there's no
finance.
request.
No.
All right.
It's
Jean.
Just to say on ENT, just to confirm that, we did meet with Thorrington.
I've seen the videos. That's why I thought there was.
Did you get on them, did you? Yeah, yeah. And we did actually come back with the actual thing itself,
Right.
which we've got here, because they offered it to us to, and we're talking about vehicle activated sign. They offered it to us to try out. So we're now going ahead to try, if that's okay.
Going to try and beat it.
We're going to try it, but
Yeah.
we've got to go through a certain criteria before we can actually just get up
Put it
there,
up
sort of
there.
thing. So that's what we're doing at the moment.
I've got certain criteria in what way? What we.
We've got to get the county councillor on board.
I see.
Alan was on board with it, so hopefully that still
Maybe.
occurs.
And with pole you can put it on, things like that.
Which pole, how far from the pavement?
I have our new county councillor coming in to see me this afternoon at 2:00.
Sorry,
I have the new county councillor
Oh,
coming in
okay.
to see me at 2:00,
Would you
so
mind
would you
asking?
like me to mention it?
would you mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Thank you. Yeah, we can set
We
up
can
a set
submit
about.
the locations we'd like it. She can take that back then, can't she?
Yeah. Mhm.
And where are the locations?
Well, the location that Terry and I found was the one where coming down Church Road on the left. There is a sign there that's been up there for years but never been used, and it was put up there by Highways. It's an old school sign and it's never worked. So we thought we could just take that one off and put that one on because it must be somewhere near the criteria. But we're going to check first with Highways on everything.
Where's that near the school then?
It's coming down towards
Right,
Lower
is it
Park.
Past
Is it
Springmead.
Yeah.
You're
on
Terry's
Park
Road.
or Church Road.
Sorry, yeah.
Could
No,
I,
it's not Lower Park Road, I don't.
can I suggest that
It's Spring,
Oh, it's been.
yeah.
you sort of flag this up with Amy Carter, but then we compile an email from the clerk to Highways and copy her in and just ask her
Yeah.
to chase it up because
Yeah.
it's it is a trial.
Yeah,
We hope it's going to be an extended trial
Yeah.
that we can use. I don't see any problem why they would say no.
I was going to ring the chap at Highways as well.
Yeah,
Get us,
yeah,
start.
no
on it,
idea.
yeah. And because we can't hang on to it forever, they've just let us borrow it. But
How much were they were asking?
they're asking 2,000.
It's a lot.
So I think they'll accept an offer, I think they'll accept an offer.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't said anything about offers, but that's up to finance. I think that's up to the finance
Yeah,
committee
okay.
to take that
All
forward.
right, well, when it's
Yeah,
the trial, somebody's going to make a presentation about it.
yeah.
Saying how
Well,
good it is.
ENT have said the chairman's asked me to carry on with it, so
Okay,
hopefully.
right.
Sorry.
Is there anything else from ENT?
No.
Anything from FCA?
There was one request for a new sign for the boat park to use at your own risk and lock the gate behind you.
Yeah.
etc.
You're the chair.
Graham's the chair.
Oh, Graham's the chair, was he? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Graham's the
yes,
chair.
Graham's the chair. Yes, that's true. So we do need to agree for a small sign to go on the gate, which very much clearly states you need to lock the gate behind you if you're the last one in there. It is working quite well. I mean, like most boatyards, you do find they're left open quite a lot. But basically at night, it tends to be locked all the time, which is when it's really most vulnerable. It's a good discipline, and as I say, it's a good safeguard for people who've got boats in the boat park. We're just looking after their interests.
So I suggest that when you make that sign, or it's a good thing to make that sign, you're right, quite often I go down in the evening and lock it.
Yeah.
Is on that sign or incorporate on that sign that we've now got a, don't have to say a new CCTV camera, but CCTV is
In
operational in the
operation,
yard,
yes.
which might just go into their mind and go, oh,
Yeah.
I better do this because
Yeah.
they're watching me.
That's being fitted later this month, so
Yeah.
so that'd be good. I would think we need a budget for the finance of say what, 100 or something like that.
I think the Cone Yacht Club's been quite kind to us.
Yeah.
So they're allowing us to plug into their power.
Yeah.
And they're allowing us to
Use the building.
use the building, of course, as that as well. Whether the electrician's going to push the old harbour ones to one side or not, I don't know.
Yeah, so really with finance, we just need sort of up to £100 for this sign to be put.
I was going to say, I was going to second Rick's
Yeah.
proposal, and also the fact to put CCTV on, because the minute it goes on, you have to publicly,
Yeah.
by law, publicise that CCTV
Okay.
cameras are in.
Terry knows.
So you might as well get it all done in one hit.
I think, yeah.
Right, okay. Okay, so that's a proposal for £200 for. You sure £200 enough? Because is it going to be a metal sign or what?
Wasn't thinking about
I think
making
you probably ought to be because you've got lots of children around there chucking things. Get perhaps clear to see to make an aluminium one.
that would be a slightly higher budget.
I suppose aim for aluminium ones for Collingwood, £60 each.
Well, they are.
No, but just
I
aim
said
for-
100, and I would have thought 100 was enough, but
Yeah.
£200, it all go? Yes. Got a second, a proposer and a seconder. Going, and then we're in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, okay, thank you. Nothing else from, is there anything else from the LCR? No? Right, moving on then to item 8, which is neighbourhood plan. I think the last thing that I've been aware of is we sent a copy of the local plan to
Yeah.
them
and we're now waiting.
for their evaluation. We've
Yeah.
not heard anything back.
No.
I did see on social media a comment saying that they were asking the council to complete it.
Yeah,
pay
did she
to
make a
complete it.
comment like,
Yeah.
something about
What's the
this,
council
this
decide?
can all be taken into consideration and actioned if the council
Decide to pay
pay,
for it.
yeah.
Who's
I-
that?
I'm Sorry, yeah, I was actually at a meeting with Sean and Susie yesterday, and asked them what the position was, and just to report, they feel that the request for the money will lead to the completion of the plan. They don't see that adding on to the draft as it is now would create any further kind of merit for the request. They say it's simple, straightforward. If we want the plan to be completed or finished, then this quote for the services is what they feel is necessary. I don't think they feel they can add anything further until they get this approved, and they can then instruct whoever it is to finish it off. So, I mean, I don't know what our position is. It seems to be a bit of a starting off. We're saying, here's a plan. You integrate it into your draft plan and then come back to us. Is that our position? I'm not sure, because we the last meeting, we said, when they came and did a presentation, we said that we would go away and look at different component parts of their draft plan and feedback. I don't think we've done that.
I thought that's what they were asking us to do.
Yeah, but we haven't done that. And I don't know. I mean, I think there's a decision to be made. Either we fund it and it goes ahead, or we sit on our hands and doesn't. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I actually thought that the tendering plan was a very thick document. And what we're saying, there's many of the answers, requests needed to fulfil a lot of the gaps in their neighbourhood, Sean's neighbourhood plan, were within this document. And they could have extrapolated that through AI and done that sort of work. So I thought that's where we were. They sent it to them to do exactly that, and because it should be their plan rather than ours. Because
I think they're asking for the money to get the person who's finishing it to do that. I don't think they feel they're in a position to do that.
They don't do that, because if you read what CC planning for their £6,375, they make comments like making amendments following feedback. In other words, they want the neighbourhood plan people to give the information, or us, to review comments. Well, that means they need the comments supporting the steering group, which means they're not in front of the steering group, they're supporting the steering group, updating the plan for a referendum. It's not, in other words, they can only finish the plan once they get all the information. And it's the information that is missing from Sean's neighbourhood plan at the moment. It's there's no conclusions. There's loads of gaps, particularly in work-related opportunities and stuff like that. And my worry is, if they feel that the council should take on this role, I think it could bog down all the committees of this council severely in trying to help this. And it could take months. And I just wonder, with the tendering plan being finalised later on this year, will it not just miss the boat? This is what gets me. And you're spending £6,375 for a thing which will end up in the cupboard in the dust.
I'm really torn on this, I've got to admit, because I'm with Mick that I do think it needs to be finished. And tendering has confirmed that it will be they are taken into consideration. We've had that confirmation. But on the other aspect, I'm a bit like Rick has said, that the plan does have an awful lot of information in it. And I felt that that's the bones of it. And this information will put the meat on the bones, if you like. But it is a huge document to read. And it would take hours. And I'm a little bit like, as I said, I do think it needs to be finished. They've confirmed it will be taken into consideration and put in. Whether they can get it done into the timescale, I don't know. But we could also be wasting. So I am really split down the middle. The plan does have an awful lot of information in it, which I think is perhaps more information than what they've done. So the tendering plan has got a lot of information. So I am really torn at the moment.
Well, I agree with Rick. I agree with Rick. And when we spoke about the tendering plan, and it was me that introduced the fact that they could use this new tool, the World House, called AI. I went back and did a little bit of an experiment. Believe me, it's easy. It's not that hard to extrapolate the information, providing you ask the correct question. And maybe it should be spun so that this group could be taught by somebody in tendering of how they extrapolate that information with ease.
Could we not just do that? Could you extrapolate the information from this plan?
I don't think it's to me. I think it's
that easy.
It's easy-ish.
Do it and send it to them.
Yeah.
No, because it needs to be a council-led. If it's going to be a council-led thing, it's a council-led thing. But up until the fact that this neighbourhood plan has never really been a council-led thing, has
It
it?
was a council initiative.
But it has never.
From the start, we've had council
I-
members on it for 4 years.
Thanks, Nick. I went to one meeting, felt very uncomfortable. I'll never read all
Jane,
Yeah, Jane, can you just clear something, or Jane maybe could answer this? Even if they read that document that you know, the tendering plan, which we know is got everything in it, won't they still need professional help
that.
to sort of finish the whole thing and make it
Yeah,
a good, you know, a good thing to put in?
yeah.
And won't they still need the money to do that?
Definitely need peer review.
They definitely will need that company to finish it for them, but I just don't think that company will do all of it at the moment. I think they need to do a bit more work and then that company finishes. That's the
Well, I
way
think-
I understand it. But don't get me wrong, because I think it
Yeah,
should be
I just
finished.
thought that's more or less what they said when they came here. That they just needed a little bit of backup from the council, a little bit, any information we could put to it, which we said it, we needed a bit more commercialisation in it, rather than environmental.
I think, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Because I think there is some fundamental differences. We've now got a plan which has removed the 300, presumably.
Well,
There-
it depends
there-
if they all vote it in,
Yeah,
but
no,
yes,
no, no.
typically.
And this, the neighbourhood plan still has 300 in it. So there are some things that need changing,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
I think, is a solution maybe that we actually get to talk to the consultants to find out exactly what they're gonna do? Because if they're gonna do that, then I feel slightly more comfortable. But if they're just gonna sit there and say, you give us the information and we'll write it up, then there's quite a lot of work left.
That is a good point, because I don't think this is a case of, you know, giving that to the consultant as an almost finished document, because as you've just rightly identified, the whole landscape has changed literally in the last week or two. So that obviously they were aware of that and would have to take that into account in revising their draft for submission to the consultant. But in terms of what John said there about, you know, doing an AI overview of the draft local plan, I mean, I've had a look through it, and I did Brightlingsea, and there's not a lot. There's bits about Brightlingsea, but the plan's that thick, but it covers every district in
Yeah.
Penryn.
Yeah.
If you pull out the bits of Brightlingsea, it's 2 pages of A4, and you can do that
Yeah.
a little bit more, but you can give them that. Say, right, put that into your draft. Get to your consultant. Say, this has changed. Because, as I say, the Court for Services is dated June 25. So it may well be that needs updating in the light of development. So can we, I mean, as I say, we seem to be a little bit of loggerheads here, and I'm not sure why, because in principle, again, I agree with Jane, and I agree with our planning department at Tendring, that they see neighbourhood plans as incredibly useful documents. Now, maybe we're chasing the rough a bit here because of the urgency with which the local plan is being reviewed and drafted. But ultimately, if you have got a neighbourhood plan, any future decisions will have to consider that. And at the moment, we haven't got, even if it's in a draft form, they have to consider that. So I suggest it doesn't sound like a huge task to incorporate recent amendments to the say landscape into the draft. And I mean, John has said, you know, he did that exercise. It was fairly straightforward. I mean, I'm sure that the neighbourhood plan working party are very capable of using AI as well, and could incorporate that into their final draft 300 house emissions and so on, and looking at the new sites. We could just say, can you update your draft in the light of this, and subject to receiving that updated draft and having confirmation from the consultants as to how they would use that and what their new time frame might be. But I think the time frames have slipped a bit and needs updating, because that's where I see it. But I think time is important, as we're aware. You know, they're looking at the end of the year for the final local plan. So could I say, I mean, I would like to, support the plan being finished, because I think it would be a real waste of a lot of people's time and energy, and and money that's already been spent if we didn't. And I don't see any merit in not doing it. So could I propose that we give a sort of 14-day turnaround, and that we approve subject to, and then again, I don't know whether we'd have to reconvene as a committee or as a subgroup to look at the updated draft and the revised timetable, and then give it a seal of approval. But I don't know whether we can wait another month.
We can delegate it to, we can delegate it. If I may make a couple of points, I think it would be quite useful, Mick, if maybe yourself and I'll volunteer, meet with them and their consultants to find out actually what the consultants do.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because then it'll identify whether you can just give them the plan or whether they've got it. The other thing I'm slightly concerned about, listening to what's been discussed, is that if the neighbourhood plan simply becomes a reflection of the local plan, what's the point? If all they do is take that, I'm expecting them to add to that. I mean, the whole point about neighbourhood plan is to look at the perspective of the local plan and see how that works for us. So there must be an element of them saying, look, this is what the local plan says, we agree with that, but, or we don't agree with that, whatever it is. So I think that's the conversation I'd like to see, is how do you get that input from them? Because it's not just a case of reproducing the local plan, otherwise what's the point?
And I think, Chair, that they do feel a little bit out there in the wind, because they seem to, they haven't lost their way, but they're plucky, they're ready for help. Now that, what you just suggested there is help, it's an assistance, isn't it, talking to.
I'm just going to say that that's where I said you've got the bones, you need to put the meat onto it.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to mark a copy of, because we've got a spare copy of the plan, the whole document, because I've already marked mine, so it's quite quick for me to mark everything that's got Brightlingsea. The only thing they would need to have to read, which is an overall thing, is all the policies, you know, the environment, which is quite a big document in itself, but that is a standard thing across the whole board, and that they've got to abide by as well. I would imagine Susie's
You
probably.
think the consultant would be, that's their job.
Yeah, or even I would imagine Susie is. I'm quite happy to mark a copy. So, and as you say, if we want to sit with them, I can say, look, this is everything that's marked with Brightlingsea on it. This is what you need to take into consideration. If they come to the council on Thursday, you know, I can't write out a report. I'm going to give a verbal report on the housing thing. It's easier than trying to write it out. So they would pick up a lot of it as well.
Well, can I make a suggestion that Nick, you're in contact with them. Can you ask if they would attend a meeting where hopefully they can either get the consultant or video link to the consultant probably, and then we can have that discussion about what they can and can't do. And if I suggest that you and I, Jane and Rick, and the four of us sit there and you delegate the authority to us. And I think what we'll do is then we'll come back for a report saying yes or no. Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Who was the casting vote on that current office?
Sorry?
Who was the casting vote on that?
Chair.
For?
Oh. And do we want a fifth person then?
No, I'm just saying.
But I think, yeah.
I think if we get the right information, I'm hoping that we can achieve consensus. And I don't think it's just integrating the local plan into, and it's, you know, it's much broader than that, and it's done a lot. Yeah, it's been 4 years in gestation, so is much more than just the local plan.
Sorry, I think one of the things that the office has come out with, particularly on our local plan, because we were talking about this local plan, is our group has they're prepared to meet with them to tell them what they've got to update on it and what they need. They've already said that. They said what they've got to learn is you don't dictate what colour doors are going to be put in, and you know that's that bit needs to.
Yeah, maybe so I can ask Paul Woods or somebody at Tenby to either through a Zoom or through another meet, you know, in person meet and try and get this sorted
Yeah.
out sufficiently to have confidence that the money is going to be well spent. I think that's, we all want to see that end result.
They
and-
openly said that in the meeting, that they would be prepared to meet with them. They haven't heard from our
Yeah.
group for a long time.
Okay.
So-
Well, I think we have to reflect as well that this town has actually once again shown its commitment to consultation through the law plan.
Yeah.
We were praised for being probably the most number of representations, the clarity of our submissions, etc., etc. And I think the neighbourhood plan would hopefully also reflect that from the town, because it has to go out to a referendum, doesn't it?
Yeah, September.
So this isn't, and I think if we could get, pull all the moving parts together with, Tenrin and the consultant and sit down and just say, right, we want clarity about the way forward, because we can't just write this off as it stands or sign it off as it stands.
And what would be nice, Mick, if it's going to take a lot of quick and hard work, is the fact that we've got to go to public consultation again in September on the local plan. Wouldn't it be nice if they're ready to put it out at the same time? That would save them so much money, because the public consultation was already.
My question.
Oh, sorry,
I am really sorry.
sorry.
What is the timescale for the completion of this? Because it seems that you're saying that the quote for the consultants goes back to June 25. So it seems like they've identified that there's been a bit of an issue since at least June 25 for them to ask for that consultant. And here we are a year later, sort of chasing our tails a little bit to get up.
For the deadline.
So what is the deadline, and can we stress the importance of
Well,
to the group that it needs to be done prior to that September deadline?
you make an excellent point, because I think the other thing is meant to get a message back to them, so they better get an up-to-date quote as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it might be considerably more than that now. So is that a plan? Shall we delegate that to the four of us?
Yeah.
We'll have a meeting with them, TDC, or hopefully, and the consultants to get an overview, and we can make our points to them at that point.
And I suggest that we show some haste on it, because otherwise
Yeah.
it's going to run out of time.
No, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
are we
Okay.
content with that?
Yeah.
Or- Yep, okay, thank you. I think that brings us to the end of our items, so we now open the meeting to the public. So,
I'm glad they're taking their heads.
it's because the camera's up there.
I did put in about, this is not my question, but I did put in about, are parish and town councillors necessary? Be replaced by AI, but it's perfect last. So,
Do you not want to meet us anymore?
oh, no, I quite like staying.
Can the audience be replaced? with-
Yeah, I like stand-up comedy, but that's another story. But maybe the financial thing about our equipment, we've got a lot of equipment. It's expensive, you're getting a new truck. Now, if you go online, AI comes up and says we can store stuff in this buildings out here, but they're not really security, safety. In fact, the builder who has the middle one, that's been broken into. So going up to the cricket club, you might be giving us a report on that sometime, because that's under new management now. The lady, I believe, has gone to other things. So the question is, where is our equipment going to be stored? Are we having a new building? A lot of equipment, and that's the big thing. Where are we with this project?
Does somebody want to just inform, well, public? Well, let's do that. I was going to say, first of all, let's deal with the cricket club. I think, well, you sound as if you know.
You know how much our equipment financially is,
Oh, yeah.
Have you got that?
Um,
Because then you were saying about mowers, they're a lot of money. I looked it up,
Yeah.
these are big stuff.
I, we do have the number. I'm certainly not in front of me.
No, I appreciate it.
But as an indication of their insurance, it's not broken out, but our insurance is well into the £12,000 per year. So a substantial amount of that will be equipment, obviously. And I'm not sure, does the machinery, the transport include that insurance, or is that in the?
It's included insurance.
It's included in insurance. So there's at least £12,000 being spent on insurance. And I take the point. As far as the cricket club is concerned, they've made a presentation to us. as you've rightly said, there's a change of management there. There's also a change of attitude in the sense of aspiration has somewhat reduced in that they are now looking for a building that would be slightly larger than the existing footprint, therefore requiring completely new planning permission. But more importantly, it does not affect the current storage system that we have up there.
Yes.
So, whilst
Yes.
it's not perfect, the storage system up there, that isn't going to be lost in the very near future.
Because the lads have they have to have somewhere big enough to say the benches if they've got to paint them in the winter. But these, AI says about these things, but you're having a new truck, but any sort of thieves can get in there easy,
Yeah.
You don't want an electric truck and that's gone and that's been all the parts end up in Africa or something. Don't want that. I've got nothing against Africa. Don't get me there. They've got
Garages in Africa. No, so we are aware of that, but that's subject to a lot of other negotiations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But as far as the storage of the cricket club is concerned, that remains the same at this current time.
Thank you. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Yes, sorry.
I possibly have details of who is this year is now on the Facilities and Community Assets Committee, so that I can feed our committee feed details of what's going on the park.
Yeah, actually, because of, and you may have heard at the beginning of this, where we've changed the arrangement between the facilities management company and the finances, and now all leases and issues to do with leases come directly to this. So it's this committee you now talk to.
Fine,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.